Hello everyone and welcome to the fourth episode of Bootstrap tutorial series, Form Control. Here we'll discuss how you can give textual form controls like inputs and text areas an upgrade with custom styles, sizing, focus states, and more. Form controls are styled with a mix of SASS and CSS variables, allowing them to adapt to color modes and support any customization method. But before that, let's add a couple of very basic HTML input elements, and then we'll see the power of Bootstrap. As you know, we have been and we will be using Visual Studio Code as our code editor. If you need to learn more about VS Code, you can watch my VS based series and find the links in the description below. Let me bring up our Explorer, and here we have our project folder, and let's click on this sample and let's make a copy. And let's rename it form-control. Hit enter, open our sample, and I'm gonna add here a heading. So I don't want to add heading repeatedly. Let's type in here sample. Let's save and let's close the sample and get back to our form control. And let's close this file explorer. And here I'm gonna add a heading, and let's type in here form-control. Let's capitalize the C. Hit save and let's open this formcontrol.html in browser with the help of this live server extension, and it will take no time, and it opens, and we have formcontrol.html with this form control heading and this horizontal rule. Let's go back to VS Code and remove this HR tag for now, and let's open sample as well. And I'm gonna remove this HR tag from here as well. Cut that and hit save, and let's close sample, and let's save our form control and get back to browser. That's cool. Let's close these settings and let's keep both the windows side by side for better illustrations, and it'll take no time. Alright, so that's cool, and let me resize a little more. Alright, that looks great. I'm gonna add in here a margin bottom, say 3, and inside this div let's have a label with null class, and I'm also gonna add some content here, say email address. Hope the spelling is correct. And at the same level let's add input. Let me wrap our text editor, and let's scroll all the way up. Alright, and I'm also gonna add in here a null class, and let's add a placeholder attribute, and the value can be name at example.com. Alright, and name.example.com, and let's see what it gives us. This pops up window gives you the live update. You can check if you need to make any change to your code. We have margin bottom, then label and input. So I don't think. Alright, so let's have a duplicate, and I am going to comment this one out, and let's make this code work for you. Hit save, and now we have a very nice, decent, and beautiful form control provided by HTML. And now let's see the power of Bootstrap. And I'm gonna add in here a heading, and let's type in here Bootstrap control, and let's take everything at the top and hit save. And now let's what I'm gonna do is just come in here and copy this block of code and paste it in here, hit save. And to convert this to Bootstrap, what you need to do is just come in here and make your label null class form hyphen label and select the null class of your input element and make this form hyphen control, hit save. And now notice that it provides you Bootstrap styled form control. Now after that, if you want to have different sizes of this form control, what you can do, let's select everything from here and make a copy. By the way, I make a copy with Alt Shift down arrow key, and let's select this text from here and let's type in here sizing, or let's make this Bootstrap control large. And to make this large, you just need to add in here, let's copy this class from here, and always remember to keep this base class, and let's make a copy and add in here hyphen and the variation you want to add. Say if you want to make a large form control, just type in here LG, short for large, hit save. Form control large, they both look the same. Let's open our main.scss and see if yes, so that is the padding here. Let's comment this out, hit save, and make sure that your watch SASS is working. Let's turn that on, and it will take 1000 million years to go, and I think it has generated. And now this is the default size of your form control, and this is the large one. Let's close our main.scss. I actually did not restore input button padding from our last episode, so make sure that you also comment this out. So let's close it. And alright, now let's turn off our panel, and let's make a duplicate of this block of code with Alt Shift down arrow, and let's replace this large with small. And you will also need to make changes here. Form controls for small, you need to put here SM, hit save, and notice that this is the default size, this is the larger one, and this is the small size. Now if you want to, you can also use disabled boolean attribute on an input to give it a grayed out appearance. And what it does, actually, it removes pointer events and prevent focusing. Let me add one here. So let's make a duplicate of this block of code, and let's add in here Bootstrap control, and I'm gonna make this, change this rather as disabled. By the way, there is nothing to do with Bootstrap. Disabled attribute is provided by HTML. And let's come in here, and I'm gonna remove this variation as well, hit save, and that's what we have right now. And you can select this control. Now if you do not want to let your users change the value of this form control, what you can do, just come in here and add an attribute here, disabled, hit save. Now the users cannot change the value of this control. And that was about disabling an element individually. Say if you have more than one elements, let me give an example. Let's copy this block of code, and what I'm gonna do is let's make 2 or 3 inputs, 1 and 2, hit save. Alright, and I am also going to add in here, say I'm gonna undo that, and let's select this block of code and make a duplicate, hit save. Now we have some nice and decent margin at the bottom after every group, and right now all of these elements are disabled. So what I'm gonna do is let's select disabled and let's remove it from here. Hit save. Now everything is active. So if you want to disable all of these elements at once, what you can do, just come in here and select all of the elements and let's wrap them with field set tag. Make sure that I have a correct spelling, field set. Hit enter and just add in here disable the attribute. Hit save, and this way you can disable all the elements at once. And now if you wanted to, you can also prevent modification of the input's value by adding read-only boolean attribute on an input, but it can still be focused. What I mean by that, let's copy this element from here and let's go all the way down, and I'm gonna paste this in here, and let's remove this line of code. Hit save. Alright, and let's rename it, not disable. I'm gonna call this read only. Hit save. Now let's make this read only by adding read only attribute to your input. Just come in here and add read only. Hit save. Now you can focus and select your form control, but you cannot change the value of this input. So that's the difference between read only and disabled. Let me correct the spelling here. Read only. By the way, if you want to select the instance of any selected word, there is a hotkey, Control or Command D. Hit save. Alright, now let's go ahead. If you want to have input read only elements in your form styled as plain text, replace form control with form control plain text to remove the default form field styling and preserve the correct margin and padding. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's select this line of code again, this block of code again, and make a duplicate. Alright, or what I'm gonna do is let's cut that from here, and I'm gonna add, alright, so I'm gonna add some new elements here. Let's type in here margin bottom 3, and inside that div I'm gonna add label with, say, call sm-2 class, and I'm also gonna add in here call form label, and let's add some content, say email address. Make sure the spelling is correct, and at the same level I'm gonna add column sm-10 to add some columns in a row, and inside that column let's add input with a class of form control, and let's add an attribute here, place, let me fix this, place holder, and the value can be, say, email at example.com. Alright, and in this pop-up windows, see that everything is fine. Yes, everything looks fine. So let's make a copy and I'm gonna comment this one out, and let's make this second one work for you. Hit enter, save. So if I maximize, nothing happens. Alright, so let's add some. I'm gonna add some heading here as well, just to identify what we have, and let's call this read only hyphen plain text. Plain, there should be an as well. It's save. Yes, that's in there, but the columns doesn't work. Alright, so I forgot to add in here margin bottom. Let's select these two and add in here row. Let's save. Alright, so we have some issue here. Make sure, let's open our main.scss, and I'm gonna comment out this code because this is confusing this form control here. So I'm gonna comment this out, hit save, and let the extension work, and it's gonna take 1000 million years, and it has done successfully. Alright, and let's close this for now. And if I maximize the size of our browser, now if you notice that we have two columns in a row, first one having email address, and the second one is having our form control. So say if you want just the text of this form control, what you can do is just come in here, and let me close this panel for now. And with this form control, what you need to add in here, just add hyphen with plain text. It's safe, and that removes the styling, default styling of your form control, whereas it still carries the padding and margin, and that looks nice. Now after this plain text, let's talk about file inputs, and I'm gonna add in here a heading and type in here file inputs. Hit save, and let me resize the browser. Alright, that looks good now. So first I'm gonna add in here basic HTML. Let me give it some room. Alright, so let's add in here margin bottom hyphen, let's add a period as well, margin bottom hyphen 3, and inside this div let's have a label with a class form hyphen label, and let's add some content, default file input, and let's add at the same level input having a null class, and I'm also gonna give it a type attribute, and the value would be obviously file, and see if everything's fine. Alright, so let's make a duplicate, and I'm gonna comment this out for you, and let's this second one work for us. It's safe, and we get this default file input, and if you want to change this to bootstrap styled input, what you can do is just come in here and let's make a copy of it, and let me correct the spelling here. N is missing there. It's safe. Alright, and now if you want to change this to bootstrap styled file control, just come in here and type here form hyphen control. It's safe, and that renders you bootstrap styled form control. Now if you want to make, that's just a bonus option, if you want to allow your users to select multiple files, what you will need to do, just make a duplicate, and I'm gonna add a heading here, multi multiple files, and let's add an attribute here, say multiple. It's safe. And now if you select here, you can choose various files. And alright, and now as far as sizing is concerned, you can choose from two sizes, whether small or large. Let's make a duplicate of this block of code, and let's add a line here, and let's rename it as file input. Let's make this one large, and I'm gonna remove this multiple attribute from here and see what we have. So that's the default size of file input, and if you want to have the large one, just come in here and always remember to keep this base class, copy and paste it in here and add LG. It's safe, and that is the large file input. And we have one more to go. Let's make a duplicate, and let's change the text to small and replace this LG with SM, short for small. It's safe, and this is the small file input. And if you want, you can also add a disabled file input. Let's make this the default file input first. It's safe. I'm gonna replace this small with disabled. Save. And to make it disabled, you just need to add in here disabled attribute. It's safe. Now your users cannot select any of the file. And after file input, let's talk about color input, and let's add a heading first, and let's type in here color input. It's safe. Yes, that's there. And let's copy this block of code, and I'm gonna paste that in here. Alright, and let's change the content of this label. Let's make this choose color, and the input type should be color now. Hit save, and that is the default. You will also need to add in here hyphen color. Hit save, and that renders you form control color. That's not working because we missed the base class. Let's copy and paste it here. Hit save. Alright, now that provides us with, it's not working because it is disabled. Let's cut that. Hit save. Alright, so that's the Bootstrap styled color input, and you can also give a value to it, say, and value can be anything, say hash 563D7C. Hit save. So that's the default color for your color picker. And after that, now let's talk about data lists. Data lists allow you to create a group of options that can be accessed and auto-completed from within an input. These are similar to select elements but come with more menu styling limitations and differences. Let me give an example. So for that, I'm gonna add in here, say margin bottom 3, and inside that let's have label. And I'm also gonna add in here a class form hyphen label, and let's add some content, say data list. And at the same level, I'm gonna add in here an input with the class, say form hyphen control. And let's also add an attribute here, place holder, and the value can be tied to search. Alright, and at the same level, I'm also gonna add a tag here, data list, and inside data list let's have option tag, and I'm also gonna give it an attribute. Value can be within quotes, say option space dollar represents the number of copies, and let's select option and enclose it within parentheses, and let's have 3 copies. Alright, and see if everything is fine. Okay, let's hit enter, save, and see what we get. So that's it's working fine. Let's get back to VS Code. I'm gonna undo that. Let's add in here some heading and type in here data list. Hit save. Alright, and I'm gonna comment out this. Let's first make a copy and then comment out this one, and let's make this one work for you. Hit save. Alright, so tie to search is not working because let's add that, and placeholder I'm gonna make this within quotes because we have a space in our content here. That's why you should add this text within quotes. So let's type to search here as well. Hit save. Alright, now if you click on this control, nothing happens because you need to mention that this data list belongs to this input. And how you can do that, you just come in here and add an attribute ID here and type in here my anything data list, and let's copy this list, and you will also need to add an attribute here, say list, and paste the data list here. Hit save, and now if you click here, the option appears and you can choose any option out of it. Now let's talk about customization, and first let's go to getbootstrap.com and let's open here let's scroll down a bit and click on this form control and click on this SASS variables section, and here you have got ton of variables that you can use to customize Bootstrap controls. Let's for the demonstration I'm gonna copy this variable for now, and let's resize our browser. Alright, and let's go to VS Code and open main.scss, and let's add this customization before @import rule. Right now the default is 3 RAM. Hit save and let the extension work for you, and I know it will take around 1000 million years to generate the file, and the file is generated, and the default width of your color input is 3 RAM. So if you want to make this say 5 or 4 RAM, let's come back to your main.scss and mention here the RAM you want, say 5, hit save, and again your extension will take 1000 million years to update the styles. Alright, now if you notice that it has customized the width of your color picker as 5 RAM, and let me comment this out, hit save, and that will restore the styling, and your color picker is restored. And that was all about form control. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for watching and see you next time.